All right, so I think I'm going to apply some materials. Now, this is where maybe paying attention to the viewport shading up here is going to start to matter. Normally, I will leave it on solid when I'm doing things. However, throughout the previous few videos, I've spent a lot of time with it on material preview, and we are going to leave it on that for now, I think. All right, so I don't want to get materials are a whole master course in and of themselves. So, in the interest of keeping things simple, let's just see what we can do. I'm going to go to textures.com. If you're not familiar with it, it's a really nice site with some good materials. It's well worth setting up a subscription. So, and I think in this case, let's do a search for concretes. As with anything, it's a matter of how detailed you want to get on things. Um, you know what? I'm going to grab the concrete sidewalk for the moment, just because. So there's a whole slew of images. When I'm working in something like Unity, or well, depending on what I'm doing, I will sometimes grab all of these or many of these versions of the same image if you're trying to create a sense of depth or what have you. But for the purposes of what I'm doing, I'm just going to grab one of the small versions, and I'm just going to grab the one, and I'm going to just go ahead and download that. And then let's go back here. Oh, actually, while I am at it, let's bring this back. And let's do another search for like maybe a ground texture. Yeah, ground or maybe grass. Let's see what we get here. Oh, forest moss. Well, we'll just go with one of these grassy textures. Sure, why not? So I'm going to do the same thing. Oh, looks like I already have that one. So let's just go for it here. All right, so I'm going to grab this hill. I'm going to so I'm on the material properties tab, and I'm going to say new material. Let's just call it grassy. Sounds great. So let's go to the base color. And I've got a couple of options. One is I can just simply go to the base color and I can, boom, make it green. If I'm looking for just a very, very simple rendering, there's nothing wrong with that. However, I do have a whole bunch of options here. And what I'm going to do is go for an image texture. And, well, that's not the one I want. I'm going to go ahead and open, and I've got a mess in my downloads file, but let's just see if textures, ground. Okay, there we go, grass. So let's go ahead and open that, and well, look at that. There's some scaling issues here, but, well, maybe what I could do is go to the UV editing, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to. So UV editing is a way of unwrapping textures so that you can kind of control how they're applied to something. It gets very complicated and nuanced, but in this case, if you select the UV editing window up above rather than just sticking with layout, you get two panels. So this is the texture that I'm working with. And then this is my 3D window. So if I select all, it kind of shows how everything is mapped right now. Now, if I come over here and I select all, and if I scale up, actually, let's come back here so you can get a better view. And let's also put it in there. So let's come back here now. But yeah, so you get a much better resolution just simply by doing something like that. So again, if I'm here, if I have this in, if I go into edit mode and I select the individual planes, I can resize them. There's a lot of other things I can do if I want to create seams or create something a lot more nuanced. But for the purposes of what I'm doing at the moment, this is okay. This will work. I'm going to go back into my layout and I'm going to come back to my material and I'm going to just take a quick look at things because I can make some other modifications as well. Let's take a look here. So the roughness is something I might do to make it less or give it less or more of a sheen. So in this case, I want it to be rougher so that it has less of a sheen, less of a shine to it. And that looks a lot better. A lot of different settings to play with here. But for the moment, I'm going to leave it with that. And then basically I'm going to go through and I'm going to apply different materials as I see fit to each of these surfaces. And that's really the basic way of applying materials.